Hello and welcome back to another episode of Simming Stories. I'm your host, Claire Oldham West. Welcome to today's show. This is a solo show with just me. It's just me today. And I'm really excited just to tell you all about my new business. We're having a real conversation around hypnotherapy and how that can really help you on a day-to-day basis, whether you're on a weight loss or fitness journey or on a different, personal endeavour. And I just wanted to give you a bit of an insight, I guess, into my backstory. Often we're talking about the weight loss journey for all of our guests, and I just wanted to give you a bit of an insight of why I'm talking about hypnotherapy and why I've decided to add this into my toolkit. And if you're listening today thinking, what's she doing now? What is Claire doing now? I just want to start by saying that, honestly, it's not mind control. There's nothing to be scared of when we start talking about hypnotherapy. And I know a lot of people have seen or experienced stage hypnosis. And so I just want to start by talking you through one of my experiences of using hypnotherapy now at, I guess, this point in my life. I knew that I needed to just be able to prepare for a task that would involve really connecting to my inner confidence. And I think we all need that, don't we? Whether on a weight loss journey or not, that sense of self, that feeling of like natural confidence can really help you in so many ways and so many aspects of your life. And would have been about 10 years ago, my manager at the time asked me to take part in a company corporate event that would involve me standing up in a large room of around 200 people over 2 days to speak, address the room. And I remember taking this call from a manager, and I remember him asking the question, would I be willing to take part in this event? And I think, for most people, the natural reaction would be a little bit fearful. And I can remember him asking me and then thinking, is asking me to do what? And having been asked to do this, to stand up and to speak to a room of 200 people, not just for 1 day, for 2 days. I also had to go down and prepare for the event for a whole day and do like rehearsing the room and how it was going to be set out and all those things. And for me, I don't know, 200 people, that's quite a large number of people. And I think for most people, they would feel the fear a bit, or perhaps quite a lot. And for me, as a natural introvert, while you may listen to me on the podcast and think that, I need to have a certain amount of confidence to speak in public, then this is why I want to speak to you about this today. Because, if that's what you think, then your thoughts are far from the truth. Yeah, so I'm going to take you a little bit on my journey. So that word journey, it's coming up again. I'm using it, I'm using it. Because I have been on a journey of self-discovery, and this has involved really working on my own self-esteem, my own sense of self-worth, self-confidence. And this has definitely not been, I guess, an overnight process. And at the beginning, when I started to work and chip away at building my self-confidence, it was simply a process of practicing to be confident, because my ego and any sense of self-worth was in a very poor state of repair, to say the least. I think throughout my 20s in particular, I was literally a doormat, just lying around for all and anyone to walk all over me. And that's what happened. That is exactly what happened. In relationships, I found myself accepting negativity from others on a constant, and especially through my 20s, I can remember thinking that this was me, this was my life, and I just felt that, I don't know, like I'd made my bed, so to speak, and this was my life, and just to kind of get on with it and deal with it the best I can. And don't get me wrong, it wasn't all doom and gloom at all. I've always had a really supportive family and some lovely close friends that I can always lean on in those times, the ones where you really need like a pep talk or something. And I've always been able to surround myself with people like that and get that positivity. Predominantly throughout my 20s, it was a case of, I was a doormat. And now I'm a very, very different person, totally different to how I was in the past. And how I show up in life is totally different. And what I choose to believe about myself and the stories I choose to take on board too. And I've always struggled a bit with having to challenge my glass, so to speak. So rather than looking at my glass half full, it was always a case of it's half empty. And because of that, I've had to really work hard on my self-limiting beliefs, negative self-talk. But I can easily find myself, even now, having to challenge the negative thoughts that come up. And if you listen to this today, and if you're thinking that everything I'm talking about here resonates with you and how you feel, then you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Because I found myself in a relationship for just over 12 years, and the relationship was very codependent. And all of this had a major impact on my self-esteem and confidence. And the reason that I'm talking to you about this now on my, 88th episode, is it's taken a little while. I just wanted to give you a taster of how things were before the podcast. I literally just brush over the surface. I'm not going into any deep depths of how things were. I'm not here to shame anybody or anything like that, or dropping in names. I'm literally just giving you a taste of how things were before the podcast, before I was able to work on myself and my self-confidence and build myself up from the ground up, literally. And if you're in a bad situation, and you might need to hear this today, and if it just touches one person, then I think that'll be the job done. And just know things can change. Things can really change. And there might be many aspects of your life that you'd like to change, but you feel kind of stuck. And that's why I'm talking about this today. And unless we share our stories, just like the ones around weight loss and fitness, it can sometimes feel, I guess, a bit isolating to feel that maybe you're the only one that is going through this, through anything that you struggle with. And so if this resonates with you, I just want to say that right here, right now, you don't have to put up with your old stories. And you know the ones that just kind of go on repeat, on a loop. Or maybe people try and brand you with a story about yourself. There is a way to help yourself and not to put up with that, because it really is a mind game. And if you think about anything that you're trying to achieve in life, it's a mindset game. When your mind's in it, when you're on it, you feel that you can, do quite simply anything. You might have heard people, if in a weight loss group or in your running club, that turn up and say, I'm really on it. I feel it. I'm really, really on it. And that's because you've believed it, and that you're really committed to that goal, and you've made that decision, and you're thinking those positive thoughts of being determined. And this story that I'm telling you today is just one of the stories that I'm going to be sharing around hypnotherapy and how this has really helped me. So, I'd taken the call from my manager. So I think it would have been around 2011. It's about 10 years ago or something like that. And I'd literally just stepped out of my old life and into a new one. And while the thought of doing this absolutely petrified me, when I left a negative relationship, I told myself I would embrace anything that scared me, because I just refused to be scared ever again. I felt like I'd been branded a victim. I didn't like that. And I just point blank refused to ever be that person again. And the reason that I'm giving you a watered down recollection of all of this and what happened is because when you find yourself in a position where your head is stuck in the past, and you have those feelings of hate, of, revenge, all of those like really horrible negative feelings and emotions, they are just simply draining. They feel heavy. They don't feel like they belong to us. They feel just draining and horrible. So trust me when I say that I felt them, and I've made a choice when I left a negative relationship that I refused to be scared ever again. And also I didn't want to keep giving all of my energy to the past, because I wasn't going that way. I was moving on, and it taken me so long to get to the point where I could actually leave. And have you ever tried walking while you're looking behind yourself? It's a bit tricky, to say the least. It's literally impossible. And let's face it, you wouldn't do it, would you, in normal day life? You wouldn't go to the shop and walk to the shop looking behind you. It's not something you do. It's not a normal thing to do. It's dangerous. And I just had to decide to focus on building a life for myself and my son, and that's what I did. And don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect in any way, shape or form. And when I say that, I chose to forgive, it was something that I just had to do. Because the flip side of that was that I'll be choosing a life in the past, and I didn't want that. I just wanted to move on, move forward, and build a new life, like I say, for myself and my son. And I'd experienced so much fear that I just simply refused to be scared any longer. And it was that simple. I just had enough. I'd had enough of feeling those negative feelings. I'd put so much energy into it, of trying to make a relationship work, and then it not work. And I just totally had enough of it all. I'd had enough of feeling low. I'd had enough of the heaviness of all that emotion. I'd just had enough. So that is what I did. And my thought process just made a complete U-turn. And at the point that my manager asked this question, I'd been listening to hypnotherapy tracks for confidence. And I'd also been having private one-to-one sessions with a local therapist. And while I felt, I guess, all the feels of not feeling confident enough, feeling nervous, not feeling like I had the knowledge to talk and address a room so large, I had to agree to do it. I knew I just had to agree to do it. It was that simple. I just had to do it. And if you've ever seen that movie, the Jim Carrey movie, Liar Liar, and the part in the movie where Jim was saying all the words that he shouldn't be saying, is lying, everything's coming out, it's blurting everything out, but then inside is like shrinking, and he just can't stop himself, can he? He's like, the lies are coming out, he doesn't want them to come out, he knows they're coming out, and he can't stop himself. And I think, looking back, that this was a similar thing to what happened to me. Like, inside, I felt like saying no, I felt like it, but at the same time I was finding myself agreeing to do it, but also absolutely dreading it. It's weird. It was a weird experience. And as a kid, I grew up around like the Pac-Man era. So I was born in the 70s, but I spent my childhood in the 80s. And so basically, anybody that knows Pac-Man, I'm sure you all do, but for those that don't, you've got this like yellow Pac-Man gobbling up all the ghosts and stuff. And this is, if I want to compare it to anything, this is how I felt I had to be. And that this was my game plan, just to be like Pac-Man. I was just going to deal with all the ghosts of the past and just get rid of them all out of my life once and for all. And this is how hypnotherapy helped me just to allow myself to do it. So my game face was absolutely on point. I'd got my game face on. I knew what I was going to do. And I just had to just get on with it. I had a confidence audio track, and I listened to this in the morning to the run up to the conference. So you might think, oh, that sounds quite smooth. That's what she did. Well done, Claire. So I just want to give you another bit of an insight into how my day went. So I had to set my alarm at 5:30. The track lasted about 25 minutes, and then I got ready for work. So to put this into a bit of perspective, my mornings were always really, really crazy busy. I was a single mum, I had my own house, my son was about 2 years old at this time, I was working full time, and my morning routine was literally like a drill sergeant. Getting up, getting showered before my son woke up, I then got my son ready. Sometimes that would involve naughty step, sometimes it wouldn't, just depended. So I got up, got my son ready, start the day, and anybody that is around young children, whether you've got your own children or nieces, nephews or whatever, will know that a 2-year-old child is never clean and tidy in the morning. The food goes everywhere. You try and give them a bit of independence and all the rest of it, but everything's like really, really messy. And I remember, CBeebies was also been around a lot, Peppa Pig and all that. And then came the 7:30 nursery drop off, and this allowed me to get to work for about 9 o'clock in the morning. I work full time. And I wanted to share this messy morning with you just to give you an insight to how my life was back then, and to also talk about self-care and what we need to do for ourselves. And, when we're setting intentions for the day, I just wanted to share this with you and just touch on the point about self-care when we, set our intentions, set the time for ourselves to take like a moment out of a day just to try and, practice some form of self-care. I'm talking with clients at the moment, and the big thing that often comes up will be I've not got the time, and to really, I guess, challenge that and push through it. And my mornings weren't easy. It wasn't easy, but I kind of knew I had to get it done. So I would listen to it in the morning. I would also listen to it just before bed. And I was thinking on the lead up to the event about travelling to Birmingham and the big roundabouts and the roads and all of those thoughts. It was a place that I don't normally drive to. That's not an area that I covered with work. And then comes the new colleagues around the business that I've not met, that I'm going to have to meet because we had like this day rehearsal before the 2 days. And then the thought of having to instigate conversations as a natural introvert and all of that, all of the fears were there. So I really needed to dig deep and really, nurture my confidence, to say the least. The day came and I can remember walking into the event, introducing myself to my colleagues that I'd never met and all of those things. And I'm not going to lie, I'm not saying that I was like some sort of like international speaker with a massive, overwhelming, resounding, loud, confident voice. I don't think I was. But I did have this feeling of a natural confidence and that feeling of like being able to show up as myself, and that feeling that I was enough. What I had was enough. It was good enough, and that I'd be able to captivate an audience with it. And that's what I did. And listening to the hypnotherapy, my subconscious mind, I'd basically polished my ego in terms of my self-confidence. And I think you can't underestimate when you push through that block that feels that you can't get past, that crossroads, and you actually cross over and do something that you never saw yourself doing. There's really, that sense of feeling that I'd achieved something that was so removed from my comfort zone. It was just unbelievable. If you listen to this and you're really, really confident and you're thinking, well, that's not a big deal, then this wasn't me. I wasn't that confident person. I've always had, like at school, I was really shy, really quiet, found it really hard to speak, and even to like instigate conversations at many times. So for me, this was like a massive thing. And having done that thing, being totally out of my comfort zone, it became quite clear in that moment that whatever happened in the past, the past was the past, and that's fine because it's gone now. It's just gone. It just felt, it was such a buzz. Honest to God, it was such a buzz. And having made that decision to leave that negative relationship, that sense of freedom was just another level. And I knew that I would do things out of my comfort zone, and that was my intention. That's what I wanted to do. But actually doing them was, it was a big push to do things. But I tried, I really did. But the hypnotherapy really helped me to challenge my core beliefs. And it was just a game changer. And, the rush of adrenaline was amazing. It was such, I suppose in a way, in a toxic relationship, you have those arguments, those really horrible, nasty arguments. You get that rush almost, don't you, of adrenaline, even if it's, you want to like run away when you get those really horrid arguments. But this new rush of adrenaline was from these experiences and the possibilities that could actually serve me really well after I'd achieved something that I'd set out to do. And having the ability to nurture your own self-care is a great thing to do. And I just want you to have an insight into this new possibility of this through hypnosis. And so yet again, I find myself doing something quite scary, but it's just the case that I've got to do this. And I've always been quite open on this podcast, and I've always said, it's been a hard thing for me to do. And I think everyone hates, the sound of the voice. been recorded, and I'm definitely no different at all. And what I've done is I've actually written my own hypnotherapy track for relaxation and restoration. And this takes place all within an enchanted forest. So I've loved doing this, to be fair. I love getting creative and I've really enjoyed doing this. And I just wanted to give you the opportunity just to experience this for yourself. So if this is something that you have never experienced, you don't really know much about, I thought I would just give you the chance to experience this. And it's really relaxing, really lovely. And I'm really quite excited because, like I've said, it's not something I thought I'd ever do, but here I am doing this thing, and I wanted to share it all with you. So this is my gift to you. It's about 25 minutes long. And what I would say is, when you're listening to this, you'll find the link in the show notes. When you listen to this, just take some time for yourself just to get quiet. And I think you'll really, really enjoy this. And the best way to listen to the track is also with earbuds or with headphones. And I've also recorded it with some really, really nice background music. And I think it's some Zen background music. It's really, really nice. And I'll guide you through a special place and then into an enchanted forest. And if you're coming out of lockdown and trying to figure your way around in the world as it is now, and it's all changed, and maybe you're feeling a little bit wary, a little bit anxious, maybe you want to boost your self-esteem, to your confidence, and just if you're finding it tricky to switch off, this will really help to relax you. And this, hypnotherapy has really helped change my life so much. I just wanted to share it with you. And while it's relaxing, I've also included some ego strengthening. So some positive affirmations that will really help you with your self-esteem, with your confidence, and in general, just feeling more content and happy. So I hope you like it. So be kind. I hope you like it. And for a few people that have come over to my Instagram account, I have sent them like a welcome to Simming Stories, and they may be on my Simming Stories email list. But I'm now going to give you the opportunity to join my hypnotherapy email list. So this is where I'm going to be introducing something new, a new podcast in its real infancy. So this is where I'll be showing up and talking to you all about hypnotherapy, similar conversations to today, but going into more in depth, I guess. Having honest conversations about my own journey, about my own experiences, and how hypnotherapy has helped me in the past. And just making this real for you and showing you how you can implement these changes in your life too. And this podcast will not be made public. It won't be going on iTunes, Spotify, any of those places. You would need to subscribe to my email list. And I think I just want to get a real feel for it, find my way around for it a little bit first, get people's feedback, see how it lands. And if you want to listen to that podcast, you will need to be a subscriber to my hypnotherapy mailing list. So I'll pop all the links in the show notes, and then you can find those and join. And, I'm really excited, really, really excited. And since I've been doing the podcast, I think I've had a couple of people reach out to me on the podcast. I've had one lady who's a doctor in America who writes copy for Oprah Winfrey. And she's a doctor. And I was thinking, well, how would she fit on the podcast if I brought her on? So I might invite some guests along the way to talk and have a chat around mindfulness. And yeah, I'm just going to play it by ear and see how it goes. But I'm really excited. And if you're listening to this thinking, well, I wanted to hear a transformation story. Where's my transformation story? They will still be here on this podcast. Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. This will remain. I'm going to keep this on board because I love a weight loss and fitness transformation story. That still drives me. One thing that really spoke to me since starting this podcast was, what could I do to help people like myself that have had those struggles with the weight over the years, and often, weight gain that's like the presenting issue, isn't it? But what's actually going on underneath all that? What is the root of all that? And because while you may have motivations and intentions, whatever your reasons are to lose weight or get fit, whatever they are, a month in or even a couple of weeks in, sometimes you may not have the same that same sense of motivation to keep going. And motivation is something that we can really help to boost within hypnotherapy. So if you're someone that suffers with anxiety, maybe a new event's happened and whatever that thing is that's coming up, it's triggering you, and you're finding yourself just eating your emotions, while then trying to attempt a weight loss plan. And even if the weight loss plan can give you advice on how to nurture your body, it can give you like nutrition advice and all of those things. If you've got a deep sense of unrest because of the anxiety that you're going through, there can be a difficulty in stepping inside a weight loss group, because you're dealing with so much to then take that with you into a weight loss group and then trying to lose weight while dealing with that emotion. It's all a lot, isn't it? It's all a lot. And I know that the one thing that hypnotherapy can really do is help to quieten the mind. And with anxiety, the thoughts that are racing, that come up, that race, they can be quietened during hypnotherapy. And I've been working with clients recently, one lady that said that, she'd had these thoughts, these emotions for so many years. She just didn't believe that it was possible to come to such, I guess, a quick and easy solution. And when that came and she recognised that there were, changes happening, she was really, really surprised that it had been done in such a short space of time. I've been working for a while now with clients in America and the UK. I'm just happy to finally lift the lid and launch a business. But I just wanted to explain that, how it can benefit you and the best way to experience that. And I just thought the best way to do it is just to send out a free audio and just give you a chance to experience it all for yourselves. And for any of you that have been listening to me for quite a while, will all know that I'm a qualified counsellor and psychotherapist. And you might be thinking, why have I diversified into hypnotherapy? And I thought that by doing this episode, it would just give you a bit of an insight into why and the reasons why I've chosen to do this. There might be a bit of a misconception that if you're a therapist, you must have like this tranquil, like floaty life, you just glide along. Maybe your feet don't even touch the floor, like some sort of Buddha or, I don't know, spiritual guru or something. And that's, it's really not the case. And the thing that made me consider to train to be a hypnotherapist was that when it comes to change work, I really feel that hypnotherapy is such a great thing, because as a counsellor, when I was seeing a client for maybe 30 sessions or 40 sessions, it's such a different process. I'm not here to say that, counselling or psychotherapy doesn't have a place. I'm not saying that at all. But in terms of change work, if somebody's got a particular issue within hypnotherapy, it can change quite quickly in comparison to that of somebody that attends maybe counselling or psychotherapy. And if you're looking up to like level your fitness, looking to quit smoking, getting motivated, even to go on that first run, then, I've had experience with sessions of 2 sessions for clients that want to quit smoking within hypnotherapy. And that's why I love it, and that's why I'm passionate about it. And the reason for this, so this is a little bit of a science bit for you. So the reason for this is that when you have a thought in your conscious mind is literally so small. Your conscious thoughts are so small compared to those of your subconscious, probably about like 12% compared to the rest that is subconscious. And you might think, as a smoker, I really want to quit smoking, really, really want to quit smoking, don't like the smell, my chest is wheezing, all that. You're thinking all those things on a conscious level, where within hypnotherapy, that's where we can have a conversation with the subconscious mind. And often it's a case of just instructing your subconscious mind with what you actually want to do. And I think that's the simplest way to describe it. And that is simple, but I know I'm kind of easing you in on this new conversation. But I think, that's the simplest way that I can describe this. And, I could talk about it all day, but I won't. I just wanted to send this to you, just to see how it feels. And you can give me some feedback, some kind feedback, please. Thank you very much. once you've listened to the track, that would really mean, that would mean a great deal to me. Especially for those that maybe have been listening to the podcast for a while, I would love to hear your thoughts. I really, really would. So, wishing you a great week ahead. And even if you're thinking, what the hell is this mumbo jumbo nonsense? What is she talking about? What is she even talking about? Then I would just say, just give it a try. Just give it a try. I've actually worked with 2 clients this week. They've both said that they've tried hypnotherapy. They couldn't go into trance, and both have gone into hypnotic trance. So just try it. However, if you say to yourself, I'm not going to be hypnotised, there's no way, and you've told yourself that over and over and over again, then there might be some resistance. But if you just go into it like you would, I don't know, like after a yoga session, like the wind down, and you're just feeling tranquil, and they're talking you through like a guided meditation. This is quite similar. So I'm sure that you can just relax into it. Don't think anything of it, and then see how you feel afterwards. That's it. That's all you need to do. Quite simple. A bit of self-care from me to you. And all of the links are in my show notes. Just click on those, and that'll take you where you need to sign up for my new mailing list. I've also put like a little video on there, talking like face to camera, just explain a little bit about it. It's not a long video, don't worry, but you'll see me on there too. So have a great week. Do let me know how you felt about it. Any feedback is always welcome. And until next time, take care.